Hello, welcome to today's class. Just want to thank you for showing up and making it to the mat today. And today we're going to do a really relaxed Hatha, close to maybe Yin yoga flow. These type of flows are very drawn out, very slow, very controlled movements. And we'll be holding the poses probably for 4, 6, 8 breaths, and really getting these deep stretches into our body. Won't be moving a whole lot off of the ground plane or seated. Not too many standing series, if any at all. So very hatha, very yin, perfect for first thing you do when you wake up in the morning and right before you go to bed. So without further ado, feel free to set up your mat and get in a comfortable seated position or sukhasana, also known as easy pose. And you can get into a cross-legged and get into full lotus if you know what that position is. And just start to align your spine, stacking your spinal column, shining your chest. Feel free to close your eyes and just listen to my voice. And release all tension from your body. Releasing tension from your neck, and your shoulders, and your back, and your legs. And just bringing awareness to your breath. Not changing it in any way. But simply noticing the inhales, your chest rising, and the exhales, and your chest contracting. And let's just observe our breath for a few more cycles here. Every time we lose focus and our mental attention goes elsewhere, just bring it back to your chest and your breath. Constantly focusing, bringing that awareness back to center. And this will be your best guide during today's practice. Constantly focusing on your breath. So let's use our breath and stretch our bodies, and let's focus our minds and have a great flow today. So continuing that inhale and exhale at your own pace, and without modifying it in any way, just letting your natural breath rise your chest, and exhale, letting it sip out, steep like a hot morning tea. Now next breath, let's inhale 1, 2, and this time manipulating our exhale a little more and exhaling 2, 3, 4. We'll be putting ourselves in our rest and digest or parasympathetic nervous system. Anytime you do deep diaphragmatic breathing, you will activate this relaxing sense of electrical work within your body. So inhale, 1, 2. Shining your chest, expanding your legs, your lungs. And exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. And ideally you want your inhale to be 2 to 3 seconds and your exhale double, 4, 6 seconds. And at your own pace. If your hands aren't doing anything, you can put them in Anjali Mudra, or palms facing together at heart center. Mudras are hand postures and gestures, this being one of the most important and famous ones, activating our heart, supercharging our hand chakras like a feedback loop into each other. And breathe. 1, 2, and out. 2, 3, 4. Very good. A few more times here at your own pace. And I'm going to teach you how to activate your Ujjayi breath, which you can feel free to use during today's practice, or just do regular open mouth exhales. Ujjayi breath means warrior breath, and we use this to find strength in the senses of discomfort and pain throughout our yoga flow. So in through our nose, 1, 2, sealing our lips and pushing that air out of constricted throat back through our nose, 2, 3, 4, squeezing our diaphragm, activating our core on the exhales. Again, inhale through your nose and sealing your lips out through constricted throat and back out your nose. 2, 3, 4. Let's do this a few more times at your own pace, activating your own Ujjayi breath. And if it helps, you can picture a mirror underneath your nose, and then your exhale, you're fogging that mirror with your breath. Again, continuing this at your own pace. Let's bring our arms overhead. Inhale. And out to the side. Exhale. And bringing them slightly forward. Let's just make big circles with our arms. Warming up our shoulders and our pectorals and our back. Keeping our spinal column as straight as possible. Activating our core as much as we can. And constantly bringing our awareness and our attention back to our breath. Do a few more here. And let's reverse directions. Again, just warming up our shoulders and our back and our chest for our practice today. And bring them down to the ground. Inhale, just slightly bring them up. And exhale, back down to the ground. Good job. Let's do this a few more times. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Great job. Arms overhead. Palms facing together. You can interlock your fingers and pointer fingers up to the heavens for a steeple mudra. Inhale, arms parallel. Expanding, creating space in our chest and our back. And exhale, bring it back down to heart center. Taking a moment to check in here with ourselves. Constantly scanning our body, noticing new emotions and sensations that arise, just simply observing them without judgment. Inhale, arms overhead, interlocking fingers, steeple mudra, really expanding, stretching towards the heavens. And let's exhale, going to our right. Inhale, back to center. And exhale to our left. Great job. Inhale, back to center. And exhale, bringing palms back down to heart center. And let's just take a few more cycles of breath here before we get into our child's pose or balasana. Maybe setting an intention for today's class. Something to constantly bring your mental focus and awareness back to. When you're ready, let's swing our legs out behind us. And let's get into child's pose. We want our toes touching at the back end of the mat. We want our knees mat width apart. And we're just going to slowly walk our hands forward as we sink our hips into our ankles. Feel free to make any adjustments to your posture, widening your stance if need be. And if you have blocks or props or pillows, you can put in between your legs. in your knees or in your underside of your body. So we're going to be holding this for about 10 cycles of breath. This is where that yin yoga comes in. You're going to feel soreness in your thighs and in your glutes. This is going to be normal. Just breathe into the sensations of discomfort and finding strength in our breath. And finally, placing our third eye onto the mat. If you want, you can engage into a stable mudra as well. Or just leave your hands palm facing down and in front of you. Again, this is a personal practice, so anything you feel is necessary for your own flow today, by all means, flow through it and just use me as an inspiration and guide to discovering your own body and what you need to heal. Continuing our child's pose for at least 5 more breaths. Sinking deeper and deeper with every exhale into the earth, back to Mother Gaia. And before we get out of our child's pose, let's just slightly lift our heads up and just crawl our hands to the right and to the mat, creating space in our left side body. Let's hold this for 3 cycles of breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good job. One more time here. Creating space. Filling up your chest and your lungs with prana and oxygen. And on our next exhale, walking our hands back to center. Taking a moment here, inhale. And exhale, let's walk them to the other side. Stretching out our right side body. And again, 3 cycles of breath here, you got this, inhale. And on our next exhale, let's walk them back to the center. Now let's just slowly get out of child's pose. We've been in this for a while, so you're going to feel a little sore. Just walking your hands back up to your hips. Bringing your knees into each other. Bringing your hips off of your ankles. And let's come into neutral tabletop position. Checking with our posture, spreading our fingers like starfish into the mat, activating all 10 fingers, rotating the eyes of our elbow towards the front end of the mat, stacking our shoulders over our elbows, over our wrists, making sure that our legs are parallel to each other, our knees are in alignment, and our hips are stacked over our knees. Once we find some alignment here, let's just make some gentle circles going in both directions. And if you haven't already, other direction as well. Good job. With slow, controlled movements, synchronizing your breath. Constantly readjusting your focus to your body. This present moment. Not worried about the past. Not worried about the future, but present. The right now. And we're going to engage in some cat and cows. So on our next inhale, let's arch our back like a cat. Drop our head, letting gravity sink it down to the earth. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Great job. Inhale. And one more time, exhale. Sagging our stomach for cow, shining our chest and our head towards the heavens. Great job. And let's hold this for about 4 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Smiling because you showed up to the mat and you're sending love and light to your body. And let's go back to cat, rounding out our back, sagging our head, neck, and shoulders, letting them hang heavy. And breathing, 3 cycles of breath here. Maybe 4 if you really need it. And let's go to cow. Sagging our stomach, shining our head and our chest towards the heavens. Great job. And let's do one more of each at your own pace. About 4 to 5 breaths here. And let's sag our stomach for our last cow, shining our chest and our head one last time. And again, 4 to 5 breaths. Creating space in our neck and stretching them out from constantly looking at our phones. And let's come back to neutral tabletop. Great job. On our next exhale, we're going to push up to our first downward dog of the class. It's inversion yoga. Anytime our heart is above our head, it's inversion yoga. So it's really good for sending oxygen and nutrients to our brain. Making sure our fingers are engaged, pressed into the earth. tucking our toes in. We're going to exhale, sending our hips to the heavens. And giving yourself a generous micro bend in your knees. Feel free to walk your dog out, pulsing your legs. The first downward dog of the class. You're going to feel tightness and soreness in your hamstrings, and your glutes, and your lower back, and your shoulders, and your upper back. Stretches about almost everything all at once. So you will feel intense sensations of discomfort or heat flushing through your body, which is normal. Let's hold this for 3 to 4 more breaths here. Finding strength in our first downward dog, or Adho Mukha Svanasana. Again, engaging all 10 fingers into the mat, pressing down into our palms. Every exhale sinking a little deeper into the earth, letting your head, neck, and shoulders hang heavy. Again, bend your knees if you need. It's not about pain, it's about focus and resiliency. And when you're ready, let's round out to high plank. Flow through your vinyasa. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, keeping your elbows in. Good job. Inhale. Let's just do baby cobra, slightly bringing our chest up. And exhale, coming down to the mat, putting our third eye onto the earth. And let's put our arms up to the side and one cheek down to the earth. And let's just hold this pose for 4 to 5 breaths. Just relaxing, letting go of all tension. Making any adjustments you feel is necessary for your pronate pose. And on our next inhale, let's bring our head back up. And let's do the other cheek now. And same amount of breaths as we did on the other side, 4 to 5. When you're ready, let's come back up at the center. Let's bring our hands back to the sides of our chest, and let's do baby cobra. Good job. Holding this for 3 breaths here. Slightly shining our chest, keeping our elbows tucked in and engaged. Fingers spread. And exhale back down to the mat. On the next inhale, let's shine up to upward facing dog. Full expression. Pressing off of the mat. And if you want, you can zipper your legs together and come off, pulling your thighs off of the earth. And let's hold this for a few cycles of breath here. You can make some movements side to side, inviting inflection in your spine. Again, no sharp pain. Just listening to your body, giving it what it needs. And on our next exhale, downward facing dog, sending our hips down to into the air. Allowing gravity to do all the work here, melting our chest and our shoulders into the earth. And exhale. Let's go back to neutral tabletop position. And we're going to do child's pose again. And we're going to do about 6, 7, 8 breaths here. So again, toes touching, knees mat width apart. And slowly walk our hips back onto our ankles. Walking our hands out to the front of the mat. Let's place our third eye onto the mat. And just connect with the earth and integrate that intention back into your focus. Really making all these breaths count. In, 2, out, 2, 3, 4. Let's just hold this. And notice the difference between this child's pose and the one we did in the beginning of the class. Great job. Let's slowly start coming out of our child's pose. Lifting our chest and our third eye off of the mat. Walking our hands back towards our knees. Let's come back up to a neutral tabletop position. Again, let's check in with our posture. Constantly focusing on our bodies. Bringing awareness to the form and the alignment. Pressing all 10 fingers like starfish into the earth. Rotating the eyes of our elbows, the front. Keeping our gaze neutral ahead of us, at our hands. Our hips stacked over our knees, our shoulders stacked over our elbows, stacked over our wrists. And let's hold this neutral tabletop for a few cycles of breath here. Just relaxing. Letting go of tension and any worries. Any sort of thoughts that no longer serve us, just release. Great job. And on next exhale, let's tuck our toes, send our hips up to the sky for downward facing dog. Great job. If you still need that generous bend in your knees, feel free. If you want to walk your dog out and pulse your hamstrings if they're really tight, by all means, this is a personal practice. And just exhale, really sinking that chest down into the earth, letting your head, neck, and shoulders hang heavy, letting gravity do all the work, pulling you to Mother Gaia. Do 3 or 4 more breaths here, finding strength in our downward dog. Feel free to make any movements that you feel is necessary for your practice today.
2 more breaths. 1 more breath, make it count. And let's do Uttanasana, forward fold, walking your hands and your feet together. And letting it all go. Exhale. Letting your head, neck, and shoulders hang heavy. And we're going to hold this for a while, so let's get comfortable. Let's engage all 10 toes into the mat. Bringing our weight towards the front of our body. Making sure our feet are aligned and they're parallel to each other in the length of the mat. Our toes are in alignment with our heels. Our hips stacked over our knees or stacked over our ankles. Just letting yourself hang heavy. Letting gravity pull you closer. Hinging at your hips. Engaging your hamstrings. Go sideways to show you. Uttanasana, forward fold. Making sure all 10 toes are engaged constantly, pressing into the mat. You can grab opposite elbows for ragdoll and just sway side to side. And releasing your arms, exhale. Maybe grabbing the insides of your ankles or behind you, pulling you closer into yourself, engaging those hamstrings. Again, if you need a bend in your knees, feel free to engage that bend. And a few more cycles of breath here before we go up to halfway lift or Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. And you want your weight front of the mat. Flat back. You want your palms either on your shins, avoiding pressure on your knee or your thighs. And let's hold this for 4 to 5 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Great job. Inhale. Engaging those 10 toes, leaning towards the front of the mat, in the front of your body. Exhale. A few more here at your own pace. And exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana, let it go. You can put your hands behind your head and bring them a little closer, hinging at your hips. Again, no sharp pain is desired here, just deep soreness, maybe slight discomfort. Just use your breath to breathe through that discomfort. Constantly bring your focus and attention back to the present moment, back to your intention of the class. And on our next inhale, let's slowly rise to Tadasana. Head, neck, and shoulders will be last. Vertebrae by vertebrae, up to the top, to Tadasana, or mountain pose. One of our first and only standing poses of today's class. Very grounding. So let's get our posture right, making our feet parallel to each other and to the length of the mat. Making sure our toes and our heels are in alignment. Let's stack our hips by engaging them, tucking in our buttocks, engaging our core, stacking our hips over our knees over our ankles, shining that chest up, bringing that sternum up into the air, activating our navel, squeezing in our core, bringing that navel into our spine. And you can leave your hands out to the side, just relax, closing your eyes, and let's just find strength in our Tadasana or our mountain pose. And let's hold this for 4 to 5 breaths, just simply standing and being strong like mountains. If you wish, you can put your palms at heart center facing inward for Anjali Mudra, Anahata Chakra, or feel free to leave them to the side, just dangling.
Just breathing and connecting. Let's do 2 or 3 more breaths here at your own pace. And let's actually do some shoulder rolls here. Inhale, squeezing our shoulders up. Exhale, bringing them back, shining our chest, and dropping them down to the earth. Inhale, squeezing, bring them up. And exhale, bring them back down. Let's do this a few more times at your own pace. Inhale, squeeze, rise up. And exhale, release behind us. And switch directions. 4 to 5 in this direction. Inhale, squeezing, rising, and exhale, releasing, letting go. One more here, inhale, and exhale, release and relax, letting go of all tension. Maybe shaking out your body a little bit, adjusting your posture and your movement. And let's engage in some some neck rotations. So inhale, just bringing your neck around in big circles. Slow, controlled movements. Inhaling, coming up and back. And exhale, releasing, dropping to the front. Let's do this about 4 more times at your own pace. And coming back to neutral, let's engage in the other direction. 4 to 5 to 6 rotation. Just slow, controlled movements. Inhaling, bringing your neck up and back. And exhaling, letting it go, dropping it to the front and the forward. This big, slow, controlled movement. Constantly keeping your core engaged, your posture, your hips tucked in. A few more here. Great job. Coming back to neutral. Let's engage our arms now. Just make giant circles with our shoulders and our arms. Do 4 or 5 at our own pace. And other direction. Great job. And let's come back to neutral Tadasana. checking with our posture. And let's bring ourselves back down to the mat as we're done for our standing poses for today's class. That was it. So let's do inward upward salute, Urdhva Hastasana. Pinky slightly inward. Let's hold this for 3 to 4 breaths. Arms parallel, gaze slightly up. Shining that chest to the heavens, opening up our back. And feel free to engage your fingers, steeple mudra. And exhale, release, cactus your arms, slight back bend, Padarangasana. You want a 90-degree angle, bend your arms. A few more here. Shining that chest. Inhale, upward salute. Pinky slightly in, gaze up. And exhale, forward fold, release, letting all go, Uttanasana. Again, engaging all 10 toes, bring that weight towards the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway left. Great job. Almost back down to the ground. Continuing that journey. Exhale, forward fold. Let's plant our palms. Send ourselves into a high plank. Phalangasana. Keeping the eyes of our elbows rotated to the front of the mat. Elbows tucked into our body. And let's send ourselves down. Chaturanga Dandasana. Slow, controlled movement. Exhale. All the way down to the earth. Great job. And this baby cobra, inhale, shining our chest slightly. Doing great, smile. And exhale, coming down to the earth. And let's release our arms for one final pronate pose. And let's do the other cheek. Inhale. And exhale. And engaging our hands back to the sides of our chest. Inhale, baby cobra. Come to center. And exhale is push up all the way for upward facing dog. Let's hold this for 4 breaths. Engaging all 10 fingers into the mat. And exhale, downward facing dog. Sending our hips up into the air. And sinking our chest and our head, neck and shoulders down to the earth. And let's hold this for 3 to 4 breaths here. Again, feel free to walk your dog out, pulse your legs, or have a generous bend in your knees.
And exhale, neutral tabletop, and relax. Great job. Let's engage in some cat-cows at our own pace. We go sideways again to show you the movement. Inhale. Cat. And exhale, cow. Again, let's do 3 or 4 of these at your own pace. Making any micro movements you feel is necessary for today's class. Do 1 or more each. Cow, sagging your stomach, shining your chest toward the heavens. And cow, dropping the head, neck, and shoulders, letting gravity do the work. I mean cat. And then let's come into our final child's pose before we do our final relaxation. Again, toes touching, knees mat width apart, walking our hands to the front of the mat, sinking our hips onto our ankles, third eye down to the earth. And let's hold this for 4 breaths. Noticing this one, noting the difference in this one and the first and second child's poses. How does your body feel? What are your emotions like? Just constantly scanning and bringing awareness to yourself. Creating space in your back, in your shoulders, and your hips. And on the next exhale, peeling our third eye off of the earth, walking our hands back up to our bodies, coming off of our ankles. And let's put our legs out in front of us. And let's get into our final relaxation. Savasana, or corpse pose. Just letting go of all tension, lying down on our back, releasing our hands out to the side and our ankles as well. Head, neck, and shoulders down to the earth. And just close your eyes and listen to my voice as I guide you. Not changing your breath in any way, but simply letting it go naturally. Every inhale, we are dissolving our bodies from this physical plane. And every exhale, our minds with it. Every inhale, we dissolve our bodies. Every exhale, we dissolve our minds. Every inhale, dissolving our bodies. Every exhale, our minds with it. Drifting away from this physical world into the astrals, into the astral plane as we project our consciousness into the spatial void, into the galactic collective that we all came from and is there anytime we want to tap into.
So let's find healing. Let's find light in this void. It's not darkness, but a beautiful, brilliant white light everywhere and ambiently all around us, swirling in the chi, swirling in the prana in our breath, bringing life and oxygen and nutrients to our entire body, cleansing and purifying those cells. With every breath, we bring that white light, invite it into our bodies. And exhale anything that no longer serves us in this moment, in our new perspective, and our new sense of self. In, 1, 2. Out, 2, 3, 4. In, 1, 2. Out, 2, 3, 4. In, 1, 2. Out, 2, 3, 4. In, 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 2. Inhale, hold. Squeeze. Squeeze for as long as you can and as long as you can hold it. Rewriting the architecture of your DNA. Bringing your intention to your focus. Shining that light, letting it radiate from your third eye across your entire body and back out into the universe. And hold till you can't any longer. And when you exhale, let out a tone. And exhale, release, letting go of all tension and everything that no longer serves you in this moment. Just floating, being one, being in love with yourself and in love with the universe and that bliss with everything. Radiating that power, radiating that love and that joy and that happiness that you deserve as a sentient being of light. And breathe that in and accept that into your heart right now, because you deserve it. Now every inhale, we rebuild our minds with this white light. And every exhale, we rebuild our body with it. Every inhale, rebuilding our minds. Every exhale, rebuilding our body. Inhale, rebuilding our minds from the ethereal plane. And exhale, rebuilding our bodies back into our physical form. And on our next inhale, I just encourage you to start wiggling your fingers and your toes, bringing awareness back to your body, drifting back from the astral plane into your form. Maybe moving your legs and your arms now. And on our next inhale, let's rise, let's stretch, rise above us. Like it's the first time today, bring our arms overhead, maybe yawning. And when you're ready, just roll over to fetal position. I'm going to do both sides, so pick whatever one you want to do first today, using your bicep as a pillow. And let's just be reborn into our new sense of self. In Savasana, corpse pose, we die to our old sense of existing, antiquated ways of being. And in in fetal pose, we reconnect with that life, birth, giving feeling of being in the womb, one of the first
yoga poses we ever do as a fetus and as a baby in our mother's womb. I encourage you to invite that healing white light power into your entire body and mind now. Just giving yourself the love you need to continue on your practice until next time you do yoga together, you do yoga by yourself. Fortifying and strengthening your relationship with the universe and your own body and mind and soul. Take a few more cycles of breath here before we go to the other side. And pushing up with our hands.
Let's go to the other side to complete the cycle of energy. Fetal position, round 2. Using our bicep as a pillow. Just continuing, bringing awareness to our breath in this present moment. Sending light and love to our bodies and our minds. Let's do a few more breaths here. And then I encourage you on our next inhale, pushing up off of fetal position, coming back into Sukhasana or easy pose, cross-legged. First pose we did in the beginning of today's class. Again, make sure our posture is really good, stacking our spinal column, shining our chest to the heavens, and smiling, knowing that you showed up today and you healed your body. The power of your breath, your mental focus, and synchronized body movement. It is my pleasure to continue this ancient practice that humans have been doing for thousands of years, and showing you and learning from you the way, the truth, the light in our own hearts that we all have, that we all share with each other. The light, the love, the infinite power in me is the light, the love, the infinite power in you. I bow in surrender and in humbling respect. Namaste. Have a blessed day, and never hesitate to reach out to me or comment or subscribe or like. We'll be constantly posting more of these classes to my pages and to this YouTube channel as a way to give back to our community in such a trying time. I love you. Stay healthy, stay happy, stay connected to yourself, and most of all, stay balanced. Find that balance in your heart center between the masculine, between the feminine, coming into androgyny. Neither here nor there, neither happy nor sad, neither past nor future, but present. In this present moment, your mental focus, and with all the love in your heart, you can do anything. I'm so proud of you. Thank you, my dearest beloveds. Love you.